Every function has to pull its weight to accelerate the most important relationships to an organization. When I was Chief Marketing Officer of Deloitte, it was pretty easy. There were about 1,000 individuals worldwide that were fundamentally going to drive the growth of Deloitte. Think about that for a second. Who are the 500 individuals that will fundamentally drive the growth of Microsoft? This was a question that I asked many, many years ago at the beginning of the creation of Frozy Greenlight. And it was on the basis of that simple question to the Microsoft organization that I began to think about something that I called high-touch marketing, which is the recognition that the marketing organization, more than any other, needed to think of itself as the curator of the most important relationships to the growth and success of a company. When I was at Starwood Hotels, we had created the Starwood Preferred Guest Program. This was the recognition that having a personal relationship with the 5,000 most important business travelers was fundamentally defining of our ability to grow the Starwood brand across the various properties. But when I was at Deloitte, we had to recognize that given the amount of money that we had to spend, and I think today, given the cluttered marketplace and the amount of marketing competition there is for space and for attention, we all have to feel challenged with whether we'll really break through. When I was at Deloitte, I asked myself a simple question. Who are the 1,000 most important people to the growth of Deloitte? And then along all of the things that I did from a marketing perspective, I focused all my time and all my attention on those 1,000 individuals. Now I recognize that those individuals change, but so did our list of those individuals. And it's also made me shift from moving something like what I used to have, which was an event sponsorship, into the recognition that each of those events is nothing more than a touch point over a continuum and over a period of time of where a specific person would come through. There might be 4 events that one person would attend over a period of a year, but we needed to begin to keep a people-centric approach to the management of that individual's relationship and the advancement of that individual's relationship. There are really 4 core areas of high-touch marketing. One is the recognition that we have to identify who those individuals are and to align a specific group of individuals or person within the company to manage that relationship. We call that executive relationship management. Sometimes it's a senior executive and sometimes it's a sales rep and sometimes it's somebody else in the organization. But this is the recognition that companies don't do businesses with companies, but people do business with people. And as a result, the marketing function needs to align around which people will be deepening the specific relationships. To that end, we're going to do a relationship action plan with those particular people. We're going to identify and measure the relational quality of that individual and identify the prioritization of effort that should be put to that individual through a very simple business impact score or prioritization of some sort of that individual. The next piece is recognizing that there aren't events that we're inviting people to or having people through. Ideally, we start moving this principle of an event to that of a community. Instead of just throwing an event, we create a community, a sense of recognizing that those 1,000 people would get a lot of value out of being in community with each other, where these events are opportunities for us to be humble hosts, inviting these individuals in where they begin to curate relationships and serve each other. It lifts the burden from us as an organization to design and deliver all of the value for our prospects and clients and recognizes that a lion's share of the value that exists in our our clients and our prospects exists within our clients and prospects sharing their wisdom and their knowledge and support of each other. The shifting from events and client advisory boards, etc., to real executive communities is a powerful element. Executive sponsorship is important as well. It's very important that our senior leadership take a personal commitment to develop those relationships, stay in touch with. And this requires an entire support center of how your executive sponsorship interfaces with sales, interfaces with the actual individuals, with which cadence, with what kind of currency and which outreach. All of these things need to be meticulously managed by an organization. And finally, the principle of co-creation. Thought leadership, which is what we would do in marketing, we would create wisdom in the marketing organization, would throw it over the wall and give it to the sales organization to pass out to say, we are smart. Well, what if we began to co-create with our clients and with our prospect that wisdom? The act of co-creation actually develops and deepens the relationship. All of this recognizes that we as marketers, whether it's at Starwood and curating the broad relationships with the loyalty system like Star Preferred Guest Program, or something as meticulous and intimate as a personal relationship around consulting at Deloitte, at the end of the day, we as marketing need to be supportive of the high-touch practices that will enable the most critical relationships for the organization.